Once we're confident that everything stacks up from a macro perspective, we then have a look at some of the micro drivers. In fact, I've highlighted 6 of them, which we'll go through shortly. The first one is, what are the comparable sales in the area? Not what's listed for sale, but what is done, dusted, and settled through RP data. And let me stress, this needs to be comparable. Is it the same 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car home? Is it the same 6-bed, 4-bath, 4-car duplex design? What are the level of inclusion? What is the land size? What is the street frontage? What is the general level of inclusion? All of these need to be factored in when comparing comparable sales. If it's a brand new area and there's no comparable sales, then of course we need to speak to sales agents and also property managers as well to get multiple appraisals as to what they think the property will rent for and retail for given the current market conditions. The next thing we look at is demand versus supply. And this is property investing 101. Of course, you want to be looking in areas that have a huge amount of demand and limited supply. The way that we do that is look at the current listings available on your retail websites like realestate.com and Domain. If there's an abundance of property for rent or an abundance of property for sale, that is a red flag for us and we tend to brush over the opportunity. You also want to check, what are the days on market? How long does it take for a property to sell should you list the property? Again, if you have a low day on market property, then you can tell that the demand is super strong in the area. We also focus on, what are the vacancy rates in the area? We all know that as a general rule of thumb, a balanced market is considered to be 3%. However, the areas that we're looking in are a lot less than that. You need to make sure that if you do have a property and you are going to rent it, that there are tenants to rent the property straight away, because time is money with any property investing if your property is vacant. We also have a look at the demographics of the area. Now, are you going to be developing for single income, no kids? Are you going to be developing for an older demographic, retirees? Are you going to develop for young families? The type of product that you develop needs to be suited to the demographic that's going to live there. And lastly, we look at the yield variation. What is the rent that we're going to receive for the property versus the acquisition cost? The last thing you want to do is to be investing in heavily negatively geared properties, because this impacts your ability to keep growing your portfolio. These are just some of the micro drivers that we look at. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to dive down into the niche drivers. And it's these niche drivers that really separate us from the rest of the pack.